Whoa, headline inflation, the highest number in 40 years. But we've got some sideline numbers that tell a different story. Coming up here in the Jog. Hi folks, Alex Klingelhoeffer here with Exencial Wealth Advisors. It is 7:57 here in the middle part of the country on Wednesday. It is hump day. Thanks for joining me here January 12th. Here's your morning jog around the economic headlines of the world. Starting here in the U.S., we've got December CPI out today, 7% inflation in the economy over the last year. Now, when you look at that in a global context, what does 7% mean? Remember, the U.S. has been below its long-term inflation target of around 2% for close to a decade. We've been somewhere between 1 and 1.5%. Overall, we're really just catching up to a long-term average. We have some supply issues that continue to persist in the economy. You've heard that. You've heard all these stories. Let's take a look at the rest of the world. India came out with a below consensus number earlier on this morning. China came out with a below consensus number. They're at 5.5% or so inflation over the past year. Those supply manufacturing hubs are going to start moving inflation to the U.S., and that's going to bring it down here in the U.S. over the long term. It looks like the tide on that story is shifting. This could be the high watermark for that inflation narrative. As we proceed through quarter one, it'll be interesting to see the facts on the ground. Remember, we always look at the actual data, what's happening in the real world economy, that you forecast our views on the markets going forward. I think the inflation narrative is sort of reaching its peak right now. In Q2, Q3, maybe we see that taper off just a little bit. U.S. Steel building a new plant, making steel in America. What is this? This really is the 80s with 7% inflation and new steel factories in the U.S. It's in Osceola, Arkansas. It's going to be a $3 billion facility. Right now, you're looking at the real economy sort of diverging from the markets a little bit in terms of actual goods being produced at a better rate, which is highly deflationary, right? If you're building new steel factories, that causes the price of steel to go down over the long term. If we see additional capital investment in the U.S. economy, that's of course a very good thing. Helps goods get to market faster and helps folks overall. U.S. Steel, nice new investment. Last but not least, before we get you off to a nice Wednesday, Apple in talks to buy the MLB rights package for the middle of the week. Mondays and Wednesdays, they can simulcast some regional games. Apple so far hasn't gotten into live sports like Disney has with Hulu, like Amazon has with their Thursday Night Football package, finally joining their tech triumvirate compatriots, say that 3 times fast, and getting back into the live sports game. Quite frankly, Apple, why don't you just buy baseball? I know there's some different franchises and whatever, but you have the balance sheet to do it. Just buy the whole thing. Buy the NFL. That's a power move. Maybe wishful thinking. I think it could be cool. Anyway, if you want to find additional information from me through the week, find me on the internet. I am out there. Until then, hope you have a very nice Wednesday. I am out.